USDGC left countless fans wanting to scream as the final round was an absolute atrocity for many, but with that, let's break down the top 7 key takeaways. Number 1, this course is still here. Definitely a remnant of a bygone era starting from 1999, and while the historical nature of this course is kind of hype, the challenges of most of these holes are not. With so many fans reminiscing on hole 17, there's a lot left to be desired on this course, and definitely not a course that feels worthy of the major title, but also it is especially not the best for viewing experiences, both streamed and IRL. Please just give us a modern course and make this a biannual 3-rounder. I think everyone would be happy, except maybe Nate Heinold. Number 2, Big Money Missy continues to show up in majors, but I'm gonna be real with you, this was a rough one. But this is probably one of the lowest rated final rounds of any major we have ever seen. Drumroll please, a collective 18 over on just the last 4 holes for league card.
That's not going to be good for business. That's not going to be good for anybody.
FPO was my exact nightmare. Now that Kristen was gone, I wanted the division to prove how good they are and fill that hole that Kristen left. But this could not have been further from the truth with, to me, what was an abomination of a final round. And I want to reiterate, it is windy, it is a tough course, but my goodness, this was so hard to watch. They cut to so many other players that were not league card because it was just a snooze fest. And that's not to say that Silva and Missy didn't make amazing putts, they did, but they also made so many mistakes or just played extremely safe, leading to such a boring final round. And this is coming from Missy, who makes a ton of C2 putts, but after hole 4, she did not make a single C2 putt, and also found a way to go OB 4 times and hit the hazard. And then for Silva, who is generally a very consistent player, goes out of bounds 3 times and goes into the hazard 4 times. But that doesn't really tell you the whole story. Silva gets a crazy par save after going into the hazard on hole 14. She's up by 1 stroke over Missy, so this is a very real battle. I didn't mention it yet, but they almost got like a time violation, I think, because the first 4 holes took hour at 15. It was some of the most slow play I have ever seen. But after that crazy par save, if Silva can just maintain, then I think she has what it takes to win. But then she immediately throws it into the bush and then hits the bush again, leading to a bogey, and somehow Missy almost misses her par putt. So we are tied going into hole 16. And this is such a straightforward shot, but Missy shorts it, and Silva again just needs to maintain to get the win. And then her clean release, much like so many shots this week, goes left because of the wind and goes into the hazard. But we're thinking, okay, this is bogey at worst. We still have 17-18, anything can happen. That is not the end of it. Her putt goes deep into the other hazard and she misses that putt, leading to a triple. And this might sound crazy on its own, which it is, but after watching so much poor play leading up to this, it is actually crazy that this is like the tipping point that made everyone's spirit just break. We wanted good disc golf and a good battle, and what we got was terrible disc golf and kind of a terrible battle. And so we move on to hole 17, where Missy just needs to land on the island and she probably will just get an easy win. But nope, she chokes that, totally misses the island. And then it's up to Silva. If she can just get a birdie on this hole, which again, not an easy thing by any means, but if she can get a birdie, she can potentially push a playoff or even win this thing. And then she misses that, and I don't know how, but we got a double for both of these players. So just as you thought Missy was going to crack open the door to let Silva maybe get a playoff, it just wasn't gonna happen. So despite Missy wanting to crack open that door again on hole 18, throwing out of bounds, Silva matched that with a OB throw of her own, and my goodness, Missy wins, cool, whatever, but oh my goodness, this was so hard to watch. Fans just wanted it to end. There were so many stroke swings, such a flip-flop round, which sounds hype, but me and so many other fans just found this unbearably boring, unbearably slow, and most importantly, unbearably bad play. So number 3, Missy had to stop by the ATM. Annalie Tujas Maneste played great for 3 rounds, and I want to give her so much credit here. Sure, she did not play great in this final round, but no one did in final round. But again, stuff like her round 3 proves how good she truly is. Playing 70 points higher than her rating with a 10-23 rated round of 7 under, proving to the world that if you are looking for an Estonian to root for in Kristen's wake, she is the one. With a very clean playstyle, very good putts, and definitely not crazy distance, but enough in this particular landscape to what I believe get her a win in the near future. And also, the pink hair is kind of iconic. Number 4, the Ricky versus Paul battle we didn't know we needed. Now, of course, we've had some legendary battles between Paul and Rick in the past, and while ultimately we did not get it in the final round, we still got remnants of what it would look like, and oh my goodness, it was so hype. This is coming from somebody that is a real deal Ricky and Paul hater. I'll say it, I'm not afraid to say it, but seeing Paul destroy the field and then the very next round Ricky almost destroys the course record, it was truly some of the most hyped disc golf I saw all season. And so despite them cooling off in round 3 and opening a huge gap in round 4, still some of the most fun disc golf I've ever seen, and nobody chases the leaders like Rick. And number 5, Calvin is just kind of there. Every major, it feels, despite winning European Open, Calvin looks like a totally different player that is nervous, almost amateur-esque, and despite him crushing it all season, this was no exception. He did not play great in this final round with so many shorted putts. It just did not feel like he had any consistency, so even though he did kind of pop off in the back half, it was too little too late, leading to 0 ovens getting inning pizza until hole 17. But obviously, the reason we came to this video right now is AB.
It couldn't have gone any better.
AB is ready to strike. Never really in any main conversation until round 3, AB just kept consistency, kept good play, and let Paul and Rick fall off until the final round, and you could feel the intensity between AB and Paul. This battle was brewing, and it was truly some of the most fun disc golf. And really this whole event, only MPO though, was must-see TV. So right off the bat in the final round, hole 1, AB absolutely drills it with what I think was a Luna, and you can tell he is locked in. But along with that, Paul is also clearly ready to go the distance because he pops off, gaining 3 on AB on holes 4 through 6 with some of the most classic Paul effortless level putts, and all the while AB gets like a bizarre bogey on hole 4 that just didn't really feel super committed, and then he gets a super unlucky wind kick into the water on hole 5, but after they match birdie putts on hole 9, you can tell this battle is getting very close because they are tied going into the back 9. But with that pressure, Paul pitches left and he misses it going into the hazard on a very eagleable hole, so AB gets a nasty eagle and gets 2 on Paul, but for whatever reason, he just could not capitalize. So what should have been a 5, 6, even 7 stroke swing gets much closer as AB chains out on hole 14, and then on hole 15, AB has an absolute bomb, but on his upshot, his disc rolls 30 feet backwards, leading to a par, and somehow, someway, Paul misses the Mando and still secures par with one of the most nasty par saves I've ever seen. But hole 16 is where it all feels like everything is coming together and there is no getting out. You must play clean to get this win, and that is exactly what he does, drilling what I think was the same disc he threw on hole 1. Even in the wind, it goes straight for a mile and goes right next to the basket. And at that point, you're like, okay, it's over. Because after that, Paul threw it way short and it felt like it was a done deal. Out of nowhere, Paul does what he does best and gets an absolutely insane, like I want to reiterate, one of the most insane shots we've seen all year in the pinnacle of the most important moment of his entire year, a 112-foot throw-in for the birdie to stay in this competition. Are you kidding me? And at that point, I know AB is stressed. I know he's been pretty calm this entire round, and I think he's probably more stressed on hole 17 than he is on the entire event. But I also want to reiterate, he's up by 3 strokes, up by 3, and still the lingering effects of Paul's dominance is there. And then on 17, AB just has to land inbounds. That's all he has to do, and he will probably win this. And somehow he overshoots it. It should be going out of bounds. It almost hit the cameraman, but it somehow lands inbounds. And at that point, it's like, okay, it doesn't really matter what Paul does, but Paul throws it out of bounds. It's a GG. Still a crazy experience because we have Rick and Paul right there, despite having not really been in contention much this year until Paul's dominance in the last month. But more importantly, AB secures his first major win ever. And I truly could not be more happy for him. I know a lot of people are rooting for Paul and Rick. I don't care. I want AB to get his moment. It is now AB's time to shine. In the most important moments of any disc golfer's career, it's a major. And here's what this king had to say.
It's honestly just a dream come true. This feels like the most prestigious tournament we have in the States every single year, and it feels like a major. I think this is my 9th year coming to this tournament, and then every year it's just been like a dream. And then to play with Paul and Ricky that final round, I've been looking up to them my whole life, and then to have Paul drill a 100-foot putt on hole 16, it's just like, it couldn't have gone any better.
But I said there were 7, so number 7, Paul is also ready to strike. As much as I have not wanted to admit this for the longest time as a general hater of Paul, I'll say it, I'm not afraid to say it, I have a general dislike of him. But it is undeniable, his time away from the top is over. He's back in a major way, competing with the absolute best of him, regaining his effortless C2 putts, throwing cleaner, smoother, and more repeatable than ever. It is truly the real deal. So maybe he found his balance between disc golf and fatherhood, recovering from his injuries, dealing with the stress of tour life. Whatever it is, it seems like he's finally coming back to what made him so great. And now we can have those real battles between him and Burr. I know we have had a couple this season, maybe in the past, but now it feels like we really get to see Paul at his best and Gannon at his best. So is the GOAT himself going to be bested by Gannon in the future? Only time will tell. My guess is yes, but I'd love to know what you guys think, and I'd love to know what you guys thought about MPO and FPO. It was some of the most bizarre and some of the most hyped disc golf I've ever seen. So be sure to subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for more disc golf content in the future. I've said this so many times this year, but in case you have not seen much of my videos recently, I'm a father. I have a lot less time to do YouTube. So I really appreciate all you guys sticking around. It really means the world to me. So with that, Wild Runs, signing out. Peace.
Don't go chasing a dream.